Good day, everyone. My name is Peter Folan. I'm one of the Jesuits here at Georgetown, and I'm a member of the Department of Theology and Religious Studies here at the university. And it's a delight to be able to be with you today on Thursday, April 16th, to offer this brief message. Another way of naming Thursday, April 16th this year, at least among many, many Christians and certainly Catholics, is it's the fifth day of the octave of Easter. Easter is one of two major holidays in the Christian calendar that have an octave attached to it. And I suppose I don't want to talk as much about Easter today as I do about the phenomenon of an octave, and really not even with the emphasis being on 8 octave, but the idea of a celebration being extended over a certain period of time, that it's not just on one given moment that you celebrate it on one particular day, and then when you go to bed that day, it's over. It extends out for several days afterwards. And so this day, Thursday, is the fifth day since Easter, including Easter Sunday itself, and we'll have it for 3 days after that. An idea of a sustained celebration. And at least if you're like me, these days, trying to muster up whatever one needs for a sustained celebration is difficult. And then add to that the fact that the nature of the celebration that we have on Easter is one that is characterized by joy, seems to make it more difficult still. And so the question I'd like to pose today and then speak about for just a little bit is, how do you get joy and how do you sustain it? That would be a good question, I suppose, to ask anytime we celebrate Easter, or anything joyful in our lives, birthdays, weddings, things like that. But this year especially, how can we sustain joy? Well, I wish I had a simple answer for it. But for me, when I think about that, one place my mind turns is to the thought of Thomas Aquinas, who was a Dominican who was living in the 13th century, whose theological, his philosophical production in other areas was enormous, one of the great pillars of thought and of wisdom in all learning, and certainly in the Catholic Church. But Thomas Aquinas ties joy to the virtue of charity, or love, as it's normally translated. And he says that joy comes about really for two reasons out of love. The first is when I'm in the presence of my beloved, when I'm with someone, with some people whom I love. And second, when maybe I'm not with them, but that when the good that's proper to them, the good things that should be happening to them are, in fact, happening to them. And at least for me, when I think about love that way, and I think about joy that way, I can start to find maybe elements of joy around me, and maybe even, if I want to be bold enough, think about how to sustain that joy, even for a period as long as 8 days. Maybe you can as well. Hopefully you're around people whom you love, and those people whom you love might be getting under your last nerve right now. I know that can happen to me as well. But when we pause for a moment, we can see, hold on a second. I really do have an authentic love for these people, and they for me. That itself, if Aquinas is right, is a recipe for joy. And then even all those people we don't love, that we're not with right now, he says, are they getting the good that they deserve? And hopefully those we love are, if we're not with them, the good of their being safe, of their being healthy, of their preparing, in a manner of speaking, for a time when we will be able to be together physically. And so I offer that to you today. If in any way joy is in short supply in your life, if love seems to be dampening out a little bit, maybe we could keep those two things in mind. Being in the presence of those we love, or having the good due to those we love come to them. May we experience this day, the next 3 days, and really all the days of our lives. Thanks, and have a great day.